Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final series of the night, to our final best of 3 here in Massive Coliseum 8, Group D, day number 1. As you just saw, the historic matchups between these two players, Zoun did defeat Clem recently, did take him down 2-1. I believe that was either in a, I think that was in a Lima League. I think that was either in a Lima League or Wardy TV Monday. I can't quite recall which one. I believe it was a Lima League like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So again, Zoun, he has defeated Clem in the best of 3 before. Can he do it again? And yes, I do recall it was a crazy matchup. Yes, Zoun versus Clem in Lima League, I think in the beginning of December. But regardless, here we go. We're jumping into our next matchup. And in the top right hand corner, sorry, bottom right, we have Clem for Team Liquid. Off racing is Terran. And in the top left hand corner, we have Zoun, the South Korean Protoss. Let's go. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat, as again, this could go either way. We have seen Zoun defeat Clem in recent times before. Can he do it again? Clem is still the reigning champion. Of course, Clem is still the favorite player to make it out in first place in this group. But we'll see. We'll see if he can pull it off and bring Zoun down. We'll see if Clem can get his revenge. Here we go. Clem looking like Lord Farquaad. He has grown out his hair. That's true. the luscious locks. They're coming out, baby. Let's go. Oh no. Will it keep going? Who's the other player that recently grew out their hair? I'm thinking of can he get his hair as long and as luscious as Drogo, right? I think that was something that caught me off guard. I think like last year or whenever we saw Drogo again. Like Drogo, he's a lot less active, but again, modern Drogo, he's got a lot going on. It's crazy. Drogo, yeah. Like Drogo, he looks very different nowadays compared to how he used to look back when he used to compete full time. The hair, it's luscious, pap. Luscious. Aye. But best of luck in the chat. Predictions are open for another minute. So best of luck in the chat. Get your predictions going while you can. As we are settling in, we do have a Clem going double gas. Interesting. So double gas opener out of Clem. This means something more aggressive, something more active, more tech heavy. That means a faster factory. Factory's on the way before CC. And a Zoun back at home, just opening up a gate expand into Cybercore. Sorry, gate cyber expand. Standard opener out of Zoun, opening up Sentry first into Hallucination Scouts. Here we go. Interesting move from Zoun, late Nexus. Going for the Nexus after Cybercore isn't too unheard of in this matchup. As Hallucination does move out, does get eyes on the setup, is fully aware, is going to be a Stargate opener out of Zoun. This, I feel like, is a little bit risky. So typically, Stargate play is seen on larger maps. I'm referring to Neon Violet Square, Abyssal Reef, King's Cove. These larger maps, it is safer to open up with a Stargate. On smaller maps, I feel like it is risky as you are vulnerable to something like a 2-base all-in. Now, this is Clem, it's not Oliveira, right? So, I mean, we could see a more standard game out of Clem, true, but there is still that potential here once Clem realizes what's going on. As we saw, Reaper dipped into the main, but the Stargate was not seen. So far, so good here from Zoun. It does hide his tech. Hallucination gets across the map, will tank a mine shot, not quite, but does get eyes on the 1-1-1. Third CC on the way. Greedy moves here out of Clem, going for a very fast third CC. Sorry, for some reason I thought it was a third CC. Going for the natural base again. Later natural. My apologies. I need to step in. It's been a chaotic day. My apologies. Getting to his 1-on-1. Medevac hasn't spotted. Zoun, he is aware of the potential drop, and he is setting up his Phoenixes. So he has one, soon to be 2 Phoenixes, and with this, Zoun should shut down the Medevac itself. As he's got his 3rd Phoenix on the way. Zoun is repairing. Clem moving out, boosting towards the natural. But there is a ground army as well. The Cyclone can complicate things, as Clem does push in. Phoenix from behind lifts up both the Cyclone and the Widow Mine as well. Very nice pickups. And with that, Zoun, he'll defend. He will shut this down, takes down all the high-tech units, takes down the Medevac as well. So a very nice defense here by Zoun, completely shuts this down, and with that, Zoun has gained map control. Now, from here, we can go a couple of different ways. We can go Phoenix into Colossus, which is a very old school composition, you know, referring back to 2022, even early 2023. We can see it is not a Robo, it is not a Bay, it's going to be Phoenix into Twilight Council. I would imagine into Charge. I mean, just because typically Phoenixes and Stalkers, they have the same role, but if you can see here, okay, we're still going back to Phoenixes, this should be Charge. And the tank goes down! Yeah, the tank is exposed, the tank will fall, massive pickoff. Repairs not in time. And Zoun, he's bullying Clem here. He's like, mate, why'd you switch back to Terran? I thought you want to win games, Pappy. Oh my god. Liberator across him, not bad, denying mining time in the main. At the same time, it looks like the Phoenix cannon is going to be reset. Ooh, barely does fall. And there we go, Charge is in production. But these have been some rough losses here for Zoun. Losing mining time, losing all the Phoenixes, still picking up some more SCVs. Getting 2 workers so far. But Zoun doesn't have enough to really break the natural itself. Second Viking does land. First Viking gets picked off. Not bad. Ooh, another Stalker does fall though. Phoenix comes in to reinforce. Cyclone has arrived. And the army is forced to recall. Clem holds. Clem does hold. It was a chaotic hold, don't get me wrong. It was very chaotic, but Clem, he does hold the line. Back at home, Zoun, he was expanding. Third base is now done. But he did lose a lot of Phoenixes. So the map control that Zoun should have isn't really there anymore. At this stage of the game, he should have 5-6 Phoenixes. He should be containing Clem and picking off SCVs. But because of how aggressive Zoun was, because the momentum was inside, and because he overextended, I mean, he's kind of lost that here. So he has to rebuild those Phoenixes, and Clem, he can get away with delaying those turrets. The turrets are just now being thrown down, but they were delayed. And again, Clem isn't really in too much danger of losing more SCVs. So Clem is quite secure. Meanwhile, gateway explosion for Zoun, building up his gateways, getting up to, I think, 7, soon to be 8 gates. Regardless, building up. Getting to charge production, of course, or into charge lots, as charge is already done. If I'm not mistaken, I believe there is no forge. I don't think there's a forge yet, which is interesting to say the least. Oh, speaking of forge, there it is. First forge is on the way. So Zoun is thinking further ahead. If we went any longer without a forge, I would assume that Zoun was going for an all-in. But now that there's a forge, okay, that means we are teching up. We're investing into upgrades. Another gateway's on the way. From here, we can start working towards the Templar Archives, 4th expansion, and Storm. I'm sure that's on the horizon for Zoun. And now just focusing on charge lots and Phoenixes. Meanwhile, Clem, he moves out. A bit of an early move out here from Clem. We'll see what he can find. Meanwhile, a big shout to Sort of Gap. I mean, God, thank you so much, Sort of. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And welcome one and all to Master Coliseum 8. We are here towards the tail end of the broadcast. We just wrapped up with 2 of our matches with Clem versus Oliveira and with Oliveira versus Spirit. And this is the final best of 3 of the night, Clem versus Zoun. We're here in game 1. Unfortunately, no Zerg players tonight. I do apologize. No Zerg representation here, though. We'll get some Zerg gameplay tomorrow. We'll get there. For now, Zoun reinforces. Going to be skirting around the edge of the map. Does avoid the main army. Oh. Will threaten the natural. Clem, he does turn back around. Yeah, he's getting caught out. Widowmine's shot not quite going off on the Stalker. Zelta collapsed on the main army. Zelta going down, and Clem is getting caught out here completely. Forced to pick up, forced to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. And Zoun can go for the kill. He's up in supply. Again, has maintained that lead throughout this game. Collapsing her into the natural, and Clem, he's in trouble. The boys are being pulled. Mine shot going off, taking down 3 Zealots. But SCVs are going down. Get a nice hold position micro out of Zoun, getting 18 SCVs. And getting even more. Again, how dare you off-race against Zoun? I mean, 24 SCV kills here at the natural. Pushing further in, forcing friendly fire out of those Widow Mines. And even if Clem holds on to the main base, he's lost so much here. He's down to 30 SCVs. Less than half the worker count of Zoun. And Clem, he scans. He sees saturation at the 3rd base. He sees how far behind he is. Zoun now working on his splash damage. Blink is on the way, +1. And Bay as well to work towards Colossus. And Zoun, for the most part, he has broken Clem. I mean, the Widowmines should help clean things up, but Clem is just taking so many economic losses. And Zoun's not stopping. Just keeps swarming in. Here we go. We sort of have lack of Zerg and SC. Oh, I see what you did there. Not like this. As Zoun pushes in. And again, pushing into this main base, I mean, Zoun is overextending a little bit, does force a bit of friendly fire. But Clemmy's holding. He's holding on. Zoun's still just continuing to warp in. But for the most part, Zoun, I feel like he has to just calm things down, consolidate his army, build up his Colossus, get into his upgrades. But Zoun, he just wants to kill. He just wants to send it. Yeah, just keep traveling in. Boys are being pulled once again. Losses that Clem cannot afford. Oh, only 2 SCVs though. Not bad. Clem, he's holding. Zoun, he takes a 4th and a 5th base. Double expanding. Taking more bases. Clem attempting to take his own 3rd. And again, Zoun, all he has to do is just consolidate his army, wait for Colossi. As they are in production, 2nd Robo's on the way. Clem going for a Doom Drop. Moving out with 3 Medivacs. Now, unfortunately, that is most of Clem's army, and we could end up in a weird base trade, but the problem is, of course, Zoun could always recall. He can always recall back home if need be. Drop comes in. Goes to the mineral line. There's a recall. A recall on top of the army. The Colossus is going to be targeted down. The Colossus will fall. Ooh, just barely. But Zoun will still clean this up. He will still clean this up. At the same time, takes down 14 SCVs across the map. Zoun, he holds, he defends, and he attacks. May have lost 11 workers, but GG gets called, and Zoun takes the lead against Clem. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Zoun does take a lead. Again, was able to gain a little momentum early on. If you recall, Clem was more aggressive. He was very active. He did move out ahead of time to try to break Zoun. In the process, Clem, he lost his Medevac, he lost his Cyclone, lost his Widowmine, he lost most of his main army early on, and that did leave Clem vulnerable to a counterattack. It was before the raid of Zoun, but Zoun did push in. He was able to take down the tank and wreak havoc here in the natural. Take a lead, get ahead, and get further ahead from there. Just crippling Clem early on, allowing him to snowball out of control later on down the line. And it was like almost a pseudo 2-base all-in. If you remember, Zoun, he did get a forge, but he actually avoided +1 until after the aggression concluded. He intentionally did skip that upgrade for a while, just focusing on warp-ins, focusing on breaking Clem at the natural. With that, GG well played. Zoun does take a lead, and now do we see Clem switch to Protoss? Ay. Should be committing to Terran here, and personally, I'm hoping for an ace match. I said this before, I mean, we have seen Zoun defeat Clem, but even then it went all the way to game 3. Here, I'm hoping for another ace match as well, but the pressure is on Clem. Pressure is on. Here we go. Here we go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of first time, we have Clem for Team Liquid. In the bottom left, we have the South Korean Protoss player. The red Protoss, it is Zoun. Here we go. So we're getting into game 2. And we're loading into a much larger map. And this is where I would be a little more confident in, especially in the longer game state, if Zoun were to open up Stargate again. On these larger maps, he is a little bit safer to do something like that, to embrace Stargate play, but we'll keep an eye on Zoun. We'll see if he does mix it up and go for a Twilight Council instead. So he does move out. Clem now in serious mode, as he's in danger of losing the series. And we'll see if he can bounce back. Zoun moves out for the probe scouts. Does get eyes on the opener. Once again, Clem going to be opening up double gas. If you remember last game, this led into the initial Cyclone medevac push, which Clem did kind of fumble, and it led into Zoun taking the game, of course. But this can lead into Reactor Reaper Hellion. It can lead into early Banshee production, early tank production, early drop play, a committed Widowmine drop. Clem has options. And we'll see how he does deviate this time. I don't expect the same opener. I don't expect, you know, once again, faster Cyclone into an earlier bio push. I expect Clem to mix it up. But still going for a delayed CC. Meanwhile, Zoun going to be expanding, of course. Gate Cybercore into Nexus. Clem, he will poke in. Now going to be zoned away. Going to be zoned out of the main. Is denied the scouts. Once again, we do have our 1-1-1 setup here at a Clem. Command center on location. And Clem, this time, he is going for an earlier Hellion, not a Widowmine. So Hellion moves out initially. So double Reaper Hellion, followed by Widowmine production. Reapers, they commit into the main. They get past the Stalker. And they go for the mineral line. Probes are going to be going down. He gets one so far. He gets one. He's going to get two. And he gets a full scout. Likewise, Hellion into the natural. Looking for some more damage here. Up! Two of them line up. 4 probe kills. Not bad. And Clem is aware of the tech. He is aware of the Twilight Council. As we mentioned before, Zoun, he is mixing it up. Game 1, open up Stargate. Game 2, Blink. And we'll see how many gateways get thrown down. For now, only 2. Just a 2-gate setup. And we'll see if Zoun just goes 2-gate Blink into a 3rd, or gets up to 3, maybe even 4 gateways. For now, there's a 3rd gate. So we have a 3-gate setup. And is Zoun going to throw down the 4th gateway? Okay, he's got a shield battery. The probe is in position to expand. Okay, he's going to be expanding, going for a 3rd expansion. Not going for another gateway. Meanwhile, Clem coming in for a re-scout with the Widowmine drop. And does head towards the natural. But Zoun is in position. He responds well. Medevac under fire. Does get into the mineral lines. Zoun, he responds in time. He pulls away. Oh! And he gets a scout of every single gateway. He saw the gateways at the natural. He saw the gateways in the main. He's aware of 3-gate Blink. Or he saw the lack of a gateway in the natural, I should emphasize. And Clem should be feeling relatively safe. He should be aware that Zoun is expanding. Clem is getting ready back at home. With 3-gate Blink Stalker, the Protoss can still be aggressive and assertive. That is true. But isn't as committed. Zoun moves out. Clem setting up his SimCity. Building up tanks. Getting his bunkers. Zoun does confirm the setup. Clem is coming in with Raven Harass. Likewise, Zoun is in position. And Clem, he's looking to break out a little bit sooner here. Okay. So typically a Terran player would wait for the upgrades. You can see the Stim combat shields and +1, they're still on the way for Clem, but he does break out early. I mean, Zoun doesn't really have too many Stalkers, so which means Clem can now expand behind this. Still looking for a way in. Has the Widowmine towards the south, Raven towards the 3rd. Main army pushes right through the center, and there it is. A third commencer is on the way for Clem. So he's expanding. He's not going for a 2-base all-in. Still a very assertive stance here out of Clem. Hoping to catch any stray stalker. Nothing yet. Zoun does skirt around the edge, does avoid the main army, going for a backstab. But Clem's army is building up. Zoun catching reinforcements, gets a marauder. Forces back the army, delaying the push. Not bad. Again, Zoun just buying time for war pins. Extra reinforcements. No splash damage yet, he has an immortal. Clem, he rotates around as well. There we go. Bay is now on the way for Zoun. But his Colossal production is going to be much more delayed. Zoun gets eyes on the CC, catches a couple of SCVs as well, distracting Clem. Does distract. Clem moving forward. And it looks like he's going to be committing. Pushing towards the natural. Zoun taking a fourth. And Clem, he actually retreats. He backs up. Never mind. Does back up. Zoun, he's aware. He saw, of course, the rotation. He does have the observer over the army. And Zoun, he can breathe easy. Can breathe easy. As we are headed towards the mid-game. Clem, he still has a terrifying army. Like, I do favor Clem in a head-on fight. Based on what we have. But that's why it's so imperative here that Zoun buys time for more reinforcements for the Colossus specifically. As his first Colossus is on the way. One Stalker goes down. Massive pickoff. Clem rotating over towards that third base. Again, has a terrifying army. And Zoun can't really engage. He's being cut off from his own fourth. And here we go. He does commit. Dives over the tanks. One tank, two tanks going to be going down. But there's just not enough on the ground. Zoun, he's being broken. He's being overwhelmed. Clem, he sims in, and he's snowballing out of control. The Colossus does arrive in time, though. Colossus has arrived. Zoun is going to be holding on. At the same time, they'll run back across the map. Get 6 SCVs. Tank left exposed. Tank does go down, and Zoun is holding on to the fourth. He's holding. Saves the fourth base, saves the mineral line. And Clem is forced back. Now, Clem does have a supply lead. A lot of that supply are in medevacs. Bear that in mind. The economies are still quite close. I say that 5 probes go down. Oh, brutal losses for Zoun. Zoun ideally does want a higher probe count. So Zoun is still trying to recover. 16 probes going down in total. Mind Drill coming back in. And Clem keeps reinforcing, keeps pushing. Zoun, he's barely surviving and not quite in position. Yeah, he misses the army. Zoun, he misses the main army. Base is gonna fall. And Zoun is being starved out. We spoke earlier, he needs to saturate this fourth base. Now he's stuck on 3 bases. He just cannot keep up. Clem is going to be the first to max out. And this is one of the big features, or one of the difficult features, I should say, of Frostline, is how exposed the fourth base is. It is so difficult if you do not have map control to save and hold on to that fourth, and to get your economy up and running. You see here Zoun attempting to expand, or attempting to re-expand. Clem is aware, and all Clem has to do, the win condition for Clem, just rotate. Just rotate and deny the fourth base over and over and over again. Before eventually maxing out and pushing in. Zoun now working towards disruptors. You can see Clem, upon seeing that fourth expansion, he's responding to it. Is headed in that direction. Zoun moving up with another Zealot run by. Doing what he can. Zoun double expanding. Makes sense. He knows if one base falls, he will at least have another to fall back upon. Clem distracted by the Zealots. Clem, he's maxed. 200 supply. He's got ghosts, EMPs, a handful of Vikings. Again, Clem, he has everything he needs. Oh, what about the Novas though? Nova goes off. Nova has potential, takes out one ghost. But that is a way for for Zoun to bounce back in this game. Meanwhile, oh, the base is finished. The Nexus is complete. That means it's just going to go down. There's no cancel. And brutal pick off. Clem is pushing in. Going for the kill. There are 3 disruptors to the main army. First Nova goes off. There's the second Nova. Grace the army. There's 1 Nova left. The last Zoun being forced back. Vikings popping off. They take down the Colossi. And from here, Clem, he can stim and he can win. GG gets called and Clem ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. A much more dominant and decisive game there by Clem. But what I should emphasize and what I was trying to get at there is that a lot of it came down to the map. You know, again, that is just what we see a lot of on Frostline is the 4th base dying. The 4th base going down time again. This is applicable to Frostline. It's applicable to King's Cove as well. Just very exposed 4th bases, very isolated 4th bases, and very difficult to defend. And alas, Zoun would lose it time and time again. Could not really keep up with Clem and with the movements of Clem's army. With that, GG. GG, well played. We're going all the way to the ace match, to game 3 on El Dorado. Let's go. El Dorado, one of the most vetoed maps in the map pool. I'm a little bit shocked here that it actually made it through. Checking the vetoes here, Clem vetoed all the larger maps, Neo-Violet Square, King's Cove, and Amygdala. Likewise, Abyssal Reef also says they were vetoing all the larger maps. But interesting vetoes towards the end. Zoun got rid of Ultra Love and Ley Lines. Interesting. I'm curious if Zoun has something different in play or in store for us on El Dorado. Very curious. If we were casting Classic, for example, Classic, he is the kind of player in this matchup that is one to rush into Sky Toss. Once he gets his 3rd base, just rush into Sky Toss as quickly as possible. If he has map control, of course, he can get away with that. And a map like El Dorado would be a good map for that as well. But we'll see how Zoun approaches this. We'll see how he does approach it. Remember, game 1, Zoun opens Stargate. Game 2, Twilight Council. Game 3, could see either one. Could see either one here. Of course, the goal base can be a factor. The goal base, the short rush distance by air. We'll see. We shall see. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the French Terran Clem for Team Liquid. In the bottom right, we have the South Korean Protoss player. It is Zoun. It all comes down to this, the final matchup of the night, the final best of 3. Here we go. When I have ping latency shown on the right side of their APM counter, I don't think there's much reason or much call for that. I don't know if that, yeah. It's kind of a weird thing to ask for. Kind of weird. Do you want like a jet lag counter as well? Do you want to? Oh god. How jet lagged is X player? True. Have they eaten breakfast? Are they well fed? We need to know. Need to know that. How many hours did they sleep? We'll have the sleeped hours counter on the right hand side. Clem, what time is it in Europe? Hold on. EU time. Did he just wake up? Ooh, 2:30 p.m. So bright early in the morning for Clem. He just woke up. Okay, okay. Well rested. True. Kappa. So we're settling into the ace match. Let's go. Yeah, 2:34 p.m. So we're around the time that Clem usually wakes up. So he should be looking. It's gaming hours for Clem. Let's go. Clem notorious for, of course, going to bed at like 10 a.m. Like 9 a.m. Like 8, 9 a.m. in the morning. Waking up at around this time. That's what settling in. I mean, I should also give credit to Clem because I would say that especially in the off season, in the off season of EBT, Clem hasn't been as degen. He was notorious at one point for playing in every ESL Open Cup Americas, but in recent weeks and in recent months, he has not been playing in the Stego Mondays or the Pigostorm Mondays. So Clem, he's less of a degen nowadays. More of a human being. He's crazy. Actually going to bed on time. Oh my god, the force field! Very nicely done here. Zoun shuts down the Reapers. Shuts down both Reapers, zones away the Hellion. Let's go. Does well for himself. He wakes up afternoon. Yeah, I think someone was saying in the chat about how like Gabe doesn't play in like ESL Americas because of ping. Clem is the opposite. Clem, he would play in every ESL Americas despite ping. Like Clem and MaxPax and a lot of European players actually. They play in the Americas weeklies. Again, during the off season, Clem has played less so in those events. Has been going to bed at a more reasonable time. Which you do appreciate. Clem, he's reformed. Crazy. So now we do settle in. So far, again, Zoun having a strong start, able to shut down the initial Reaper harass. So behind this Stargate opener out of Zoun, my apologies, so we'll focus on the game now, is going to be a Stargate opener into Phoenixes for map control. We spoke earlier that, I mean, this is one of the big advantages of El Dorado is the short rush distance by air. So you can be more assertive early on with your Phoenixes. As we say that, Zoun is being active. There are some Widow Mines in position, so Zoun has to be careful. Behind this, a little bit more old school, Zoun going Phoenix Colossus, but that is a fast Twilight Council, so very tech heavy here out of Zoun. Takes down the Widow Mine, will take a shot to the face. But yeah, Zoun going for the Bay and the Twilight Council. Safety Immortal on the way as well. Staying on 2 bases. And building up. So a Phoenix Colossus variation here by Zoun. Typically you would commit into maybe a heavier Phoenix count. We can see that we're working towards charge, I would imagine. There we go, charge is on the way. And we should soon be beginning the first Colossus. As the Bay has been done for quite some time. Extra gateways being thrown down. So yeah, not the most efficient start here out of Zoun. And so far, I'm concerned that he's not going to be able to get away with this here. Wait, did he cancel the Bay? He's got a second Immortal on the way. The army moves out. And Clem, he's got a terrifying army, and he may have just canceled the Bay. Okay, we'll see if he can hold. We'll see if he can survive. Needs those Warpins, needs those Zealots. As Clem is moving out. Okay. Nice force fields. Delaying the push. Building on more Zealots. Shield batteries in position. Tag within range of the gateway. Ooh, yeah, brutal positioning here. The gateway is going to go down. Now Zoun, he has to be patient. He has to be as patient as possible. As the army isn't really threatening the natural, is threatening the third base, but Zoun just has to buy time for extra Warpins. You see him trying to catch reinforcements. As I mentioned before, this is one of the downsides of going for a Stargate opener, is you are vulnerable to all-ins or to aggressive play. Tank on sieges. The Phoenixes, they force back the entire army, buying time. Catching out more Marines. And Zoun saves a third. Very nicely done. Again, patient play here. Zoun, he did not pull the trigger with the ground army, only harassing with Phoenixes. Now we have the Temple Archives on the way. That should be for Storm. And Zoun holds. Whew. Zoun does hold. Getting his third base saturated. Clem now working on his own third CC as well. Both players building up. The Viking Hand is terrifying. I'm sure that's another reason as to why Zoun did not quite commit into any Bay production or any Colossus production. There we go, Storm is on the way. And we have a back and forth. We survived! We have more of a back and forth instead. The Phoenixes have to be very careful though. I mean, with the large Viking house sharking around and looking for the Phoenixes. Alas, they're out of position. Zoun gets an SCV. Ooh, but we'll lose one Phoenix. Zal say check for a third. Not quite on location yet. Both players still building up. Storm is almost done. That's going to be 6 High Templar for Zoun. That's going to be a lot of storms, and the army does get spotted. Zoun, he's aware of the army positioning. Sees Zoun getting ready for a Zealot run by. Clem, he pulls back. Zoun getting in position. As Zoun is still tracking the main army. Still 6 High Templar. And there are no ghosts yet, so there's no danger of EMP. As the Ghost production or the Ghost Academy has just now begun. Nice sniper in the Observer. Zoun, he still has a lot of potential. Spots the main army, pushing in, catching out the Lib. Lib goes down. Tanks do siege. The Storms, they do zone away the army. Zealots are thrown away. Clem does have the supply lead, and a lot of the defense here is going to be heavily reliant on Storms. So Clem is going for a split push, dropping into the main. Dropping into the main base. Clem, he rotates towards the 4th. There was a Storm to defend, but does Zoun have enough? The Storms are pretty good. Oh my god, the Storms, they collapse on the main army. On the bio, on the tanks as well, and Zoun, he will shut down the main force, but at the same time, the drop in the main base, it's wreaking havoc. The drop is getting damage done, butts into the mineral line. Was initially a good defense by Zoun, but the drop, it's wreaking havoc. It's getting out of control. Takes down 11 workers, depowers some of the production. Forcing back Zoun. And even sniping the Bay. Colossi taking down an Immortal as well. An Archon, oh my god, the trades! Gets an Immortal and an Archon. Finally, Clem forces a pick up. Finally forced out. And Clem, he still has a terrifying army. Reinforcing towards the 4th. And unfortunately, unlike the previous defense, Zoun, he has less storms. He has significantly less storms than he once had. And Zoun is in trouble. He's in danger. He's being torn apart. The 4th base is going to go down. There's no saving it. And he's going to try to recall. Flanking storms as well. Decent storms on the army. Oh my god. Clem, he stands in the storms. But he still snipes the base. The base still goes down. Ghosts have arrived. Nice pre-split here out of Clem. And Clem is snowballing out of control. He may have been forced into the air smash. He may have dropped game 1, but GG gets caught, and Clem, he will take the series 2-1, getting his revenge over Zoun. GG. GG, well played. Clem looking quite satisfied there with that win. Nice cheeky smile towards the end. Do appreciate it. GG, well played. Clem will take it. Takes down Zoun and does win both his matches here tonight. Does win his matches. GG, well played. Oh. as Clem takes down Zoun, and that was our final series of the night as well. Shout out to Zoun, of course, for forcing the ace match and to bring us all the way to game 3. What I will say though is that the vetoes were very interesting to me. I'm a little bit surprised that Zoun did veto both Ultra Love and Ley Lines, did allow El Dorado and Frostline through. Maps that are traditionally vetoed here were, again, seen in the series instead, and Zoun did struggle in both of them. What I will say is that we did have an impressive initial defense by Zoun in game number 2. That is true. Sorry, in game number 3, when he was able to force back the army with the Phoenixes, but eventually did lose all his Phoenixes. He wasn't quite able to gain much value across the map, harassing, and he was torn apart. Well played here by Clem. And with that, we're going to be wrapping up. We're going to be wrapping up here tonight. Our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow with day number 2 of this group. Massive Coliseum, the group stage, or the groups, they're split into 2 days. Today's day 1. Tomorrow is day number 2. Tomorrow, of course, we also have a second broadcast as well. After Massive Coliseum, it's going to be Massive Coliseum into the OSC Championship Bracket D. It is essentially a qualifier for the OSC Championship, which is, of course, the big end of year celebration. There's a lot of events going on here in January. I believe brackets A, B, and C were already played out, covered by Wardy, covered by Steadfast, and we, of course, are covering Group D. So again, that'll be tomorrow after Massive Coliseum. That is the plan. So a bit of a longer broadcast day tomorrow for us, but regardless, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for watching. I'm sure after this highlight clip, we are about to see the matchups for tomorrow. Quickly going over them though, I believe we should be featuring Clem versus Spirit. That should be another PVT. Looking forward to it. And we should be seeing the rest of Zoun's matches. So it's going to be Clem versus Spirit, and then Zoun versus Spirit, and Zoun versus Oliveira as well. So we're going to be featuring some more Zoun action tomorrow as he has some remaining matches. As a reminder as well, top two do make it out of the group stage. So far, Clem is looking poised to be one of those 2 players, but the question becomes, who will join him? Who will join him? Will it be Spirit? Will it be Oliveira? Will it be Zoun? Oh boy. So I think with the 2 losses today, I don't know if Oliveira can make it out. So I think really it's going to be contention between Spirit and Zoun. It's going to come down to the 2 of them to see which one will join Clem in the playoffs. And of course the rest of the players as well, as we are nearing the finale of the group stage of Massive Coliseum. Oh boy. Again, the playoffs are going to be next week. Bear that in mind. Non-stop StarCraft. It doesn't end, papi. It doesn't end. Aye. And I hope you've all been enjoying yourselves. Oh, now we do have the standings being shown off here. Yeah, the standings of the group. And a shout out as well to C Grail. Shout out to C Grail in the chat. God, thank you so much for subscribing for almost 2 years, 23 months. That's a lot of months. Thank you so much. And as you can see, yep, these are tomorrow's matches: Spirit versus Clem, Zoun versus Spirit, and Zoun versus Oliveira as well. So 3 more matches tomorrow. Make sure you're there for it. Make sure you tune in. Just catching up in the rest of the chat. Catching up. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. See you then.
恭喜小黑！战4比3，飞龙在天！
哎，算了，恭喜他夺冠吧。
一把，我靠！
打不过啊，他最后这手感染虫太凶了。最近半年 ，ZVP 56-3给自己点一个赞，冠军。
I don't think Cyril has any chance to save this one, but he continues.
He gets killed coming back, and Bunny just doesn't seem to have the numbers.
Didn't even notice the Liberator in the main base, I think. So many probes are going down right now.
Oh my god, they're trying to get back, but they can't, and so many are picked up. A big clump here from Kiri. Tries to split everything up.
Giant force of Fadelings rolling in and clearing the hell. That's massive. Clem!
Mario is once again. Has done it.
Cyril did it all, and he is a well-deserving champion.